Hello, it's Glenn again, back to look at another playoff game. And I started hiding the result at the beginning for a bit of suspense, but I decided to go with the spoiler of the result in this one because I think there's an important lesson to be had from it. That is that I could say that I lost this game because I was monumentally screwed by dice rolls. Now you can look at the disparity between sixes and ones here for the Elven team, things like that, and a bit more even for me, but much more ones and sixes. And you can just look at those sort of stats and how things kind of went wrong around here, how things went much more right for the elves with the dice, and you can say, that's why I lost. An important lesson about Blood Bowl is that you can just never use that as a crutch for why you lost the game. And so I'm going to look back and find other problems that I had. But two things about blaming the dice for failure in Blood Bowl are that, I'll cut this bit out because I don't want to show the result of the other one. But two things about blaming the dice in Blood Bowl and why that's never a good thing to do. Firstly, if you use that as your excuse all the time, you're never going to improve. You'll never examine how you're playing to try to work out how things went wrong. And secondly, if that's what you're doing as an excuse for losing, you'll never enjoy the game as much as someone who just embraces the fact that you're always going to get bad dice rolls and you have to prepare to be able to deal with them. That's kind of the essence of the game, is preparing for failure all the time. This game totally rewards pessimism in a way I've never seen in another game before. You always have to be ready for what's going to happen if I fail this thing that shouldn't fail according to the numbers, and you have to be ready for that. So I know of, I think, one, maybe two things I definitely did wrong in the first half, which could have changed this result. I will look back at those and see if there are any other things that I can spot that made the result go the way it did. I'm definitely happy with the way I set up to defend. I mentioned last time I played this elf team, it was a 2-all draw. That spreading out wide across the pitch was, I think, the best way to go. 4 catchers on this team. We're going to look at the teams in a sec once the setup's finished. Just let the kick happen. Okay, so as in the semi-final we looked at before, right at the beginning, crowd's getting unruly in this league. Right, so we can see, I'm going to switch it to my view because I want to look at how I played the game. We'll just run through what the team looks like. So you're going to give us icons. Okay, yeah, so diving tackle, wrestle, Beastman out on the wing. I like to use him as a sweeper, but I wanted my wrestle guys right on the edge because I was expecting blitzers to come in here, and if they're relying on both downs, the blitzers going down as well and not getting through. That's why I wanted wrestlers right at the end. Yep, so diving tackle, wrestle. Diving tackle's handy for where people might dodge through as well. Block dodge on that Beastman. A couple of unlevelled ones there. Block on this one and just wrestle on this one. 2 block Chaos Warriors in the middle there. 2 normal ones just behind, and this is an agility 2 Beastman who I put on the line of scrimmage. Let's have a look at the elf team. So I've got a rookie catcher, blitzer with dodge. Both blitzers are block side step dodge in these sort of corners just outside the line of scrimmage here. Got a catcher with dodge there, a guard block lineman back here, who I'm surprised to see back there. I think he should be getting stuck in, putting those assists down. Yeah. Anyway, things have gone. The little icons for the skills have gone. Okay, so we've got lineman with armour 8, a thrower on the line of scrimmage. I'd like to see the thrower back, or maybe the thrower off the pitch as a reserve, if he only wants one, to use one as a thrower. It's quite throwers aren't as expendable as linemen. I think he wants anyone with skills not to be on the line of scrimmage, but also he's getting the first turn, so he should be looking at maybe guard lineman in the middle, maybe blitzers here, to throw blocks on these Chaos Warriors, and with linemen either side, he'd be getting 2 dice all along there. Obviously, he doesn't necessarily want to play a blocking game, because I think we're going to see all these players dodge away. Anyway, Catcher with Dump Off over here. That's another Blitzer we already looked at. And this is his kind of most dangerous player who I had my eye on. It's a Strength 4 Catcher who's taking a movement penalty as well, but he's Strength 4. And that's the one who's about to be blitzing. So this looks like, rather than using blitzers to throw his blitz, he's starting to use his Strength 4 Catcher to do that, and that's the first action he made. Has picked up dodge as well as a second advance at some point. But yeah, so let's run on. That's the teams. Go straight for my block dodge Beastman, and dodge keeps him on his feet. So probably not going to have anyone laying on the floor at the end of this turn with the amount of Strength 4 I've got on the line of scrimmage. And I think, yeah, for so much of this game, it sort of felt like I wasn't really doing anything wrong, but it's just those couple of things to take note of. One thing, I was 130,000 down on team rating, and topped up 20k for my treasury to take a wizard as an inducement. That's the difference in the teams was that much. So got a wizard in my pocket is one thing to consider. Pressing the wrong thing. I'm trying to get rid of the icons. Right, so I brought my sweeper guy back. That's the diving tackler. I want to see who breaks through, who he can go and mark to make life difficult for them. Do have that gap down the edge at the moment. No, I've moved him over. I made a mistake here as well. I was looking to blitz with this guy, and realised after I'd moved him that I'd moved the wrong one. So blitz with the horns, the wrestle guy instead, but still got an injury here, I think. So not so bad. But I was intending to do that with the block guy rather than injury. And that was a -1 armor value injury on that rookie catcher. But yeah, so all these players left in. Yeah, nothing vulnerable, so this thrower getting knocked down. So L's down to 10 players. I think did I miss a no, that Beastman got pushed back and moved over, so I didn't get knocked out or anything. So that's a Strength 4 Catcher again, getting the 2 dice to try and make a hole, which hasn't worked out this time. So things I could be thinking of strategically are to be going for a 1-0 or a 2-1 win. And I think that depends on how quickly the Elves are moving the ball up the pitch and getting into scoring position. They're playing pretty patiently here, so the longer this goes on, the more the 2-1 win option kind of gets away from me. And we get to a point where it's sort of the last opportunity for the Elves to score where I can win 2-1. And I do something that prevents it and starts pushing it later and later. They eventually score their first touchdown really late in this half. Right, so I catch a 3, diving tackler straight onto him. Meesy's got to think really hard about if he wants to dodge out of that, or throw 1 dice block, or get him some support. And that's exactly why this guy's back here. I think that was an accidental go for it. I think I did the thing where I double clicked for movement. Didn't realise he'd have to go through a tackle zone if he wanted to get there without going for it. So that blitzer surrounded. But much of the Elves team's coming here, and what I want to do at this point is compress them all as much as possible to give them as little the pitch to play with as I can. So took a reroll and a pushback. And didn't do any better. I think that was a Strength 4. Strength 4 Catcher was someone I really wanted to get an injury on, because it could see how important he was becoming to the team. He was blitzing every turn, getting 2 dice. With an armor 7 player, you want to be getting him off the pitch, and you should be able to. So I've pushed in to get some pressure on. I've left him a lot of blocks on though. We start getting those down. So that's my block dodge Beastman taken down by the strength 4 catcher. Small inkling of a hole developing here, which these players can get through. That was exactly what I was looking to have a wrestle person on the end for, so that both down could have taken the blitzer down with them. So, ball down here, I've got a few spare players who I can come in and swamp with here. That's what I'm going to be looking to do. But this is the turn where if the Elves score next turn, it's going to leave me with 4 turns to score back before half time. So if I want a 2-1 win, I have to make sure they score next turn. I think instead I do something a bit different. Bearing in mind I have a wizard up my sleeve, that's what's coming. And it's one of the potential things I did that I definitely did a bit wrong. So I'm just coming in to mark players up. I know I can't get a blitz on the ball carrier this turn, so I'm just trying to get some sort of safety plays done before doing that. That frees up 2 more beastmen to come over and help me to surround the elves here. And by using the wizard to take this this ball carrier down this turn, that's what makes the decision I'm going for a 1-0 win rather than a 2-1 win. Only pushing that guy back shuts that off. I think actually could I get a dodge blitz with this guy? This guy 1, 2, 3. No, he'd have had to have dodged anyway. I wonder if that was what I was waiting to do. But yeah, so getting around there to cover, and now I know I'm going to lightning bolt. Another bad injury. I think this one -1 armor value, apothecary to a niggling injury. So 2 catches missing the next game, and long term both easier to injure. Yeah, so that ended my turn using the wizard. Obviously, but I think I moved everyone anyway. So now I've taken away the chance to have 4 turns to score back because they're very unlikely to score this turn. I think they still could. But I've got 3 tackle zones on the ball that they've got to deal with. Excuse me. So it was, yeah, by using the wizard there, I decided I want a 1-0 win, not a 2-1 win. And from there, there's more pressure on to make sure they don't score in the first half. So that's the first error I made, I think. Or potential error. I think that could go either way, but choosing to go for the 1-0 win rather than the 2-1 win at that point, yeah, put a lot of pressure on. I had to then make sure the Elves weren't going to score this half, which I enjoyed doing. It's one of the things I enjoy about Blood Bowl is just trying to stop the other team scoring, as I mentioned before. But it does make things harder. This guy Ryman getting a lot of mileage out of him in this turn, which is great. Just to push onto the ball and ball back in Elven hands. So the thrower has it this turn. Decide to block with the thrower to clear that tackle zone off. Doesn't need to do anything this turn. It's really good, patient attacking play from the Elven coach in this one. Sort of knows that they don't need to score quickly. If they can score in turn 8, it's ideal for them because they'll be 1-0 up at half time, and then they know I've got to try and do a lot of work. That's a successful dodge away from the diving tackler in that one on the 6, so I didn't even get to try and use diving tackle. One of those sort of I did do something I did do really well in this game was make things difficult for the Elves, so they had to make difficult dodge rolls to do stuff. But it's just so many of them came off. That was like one of the areas in which dice affected it, but it's not. Yeah, it's not something I can point at as why it went wrong. This is my second error that I've identified sort of during the game and since. So I'm trying to compress all the Elves in here, which is going really well. There's not that many of them left, and they're all being squeezed into this sort of 6th of the pitch, basically. Just this outline blitzer here. Now I just moved this beastman in here. It's a wrestle beastman. Already had marked with a diving tackler a second one with block. He was over here. This guy should be over here. I'm surrendering all of this pitch, like with the superior agility and movement of this Elven team. Them breaking out of here is something I didn't plan for. I should have had this guy over here covering, watching for any elves who can get out, because if any elves get out here, I'm all marked up. I'm going to have to make dodge rolls or really careful blocks to free players up to come and deal with them. And they're quicker than me, so it's going to be hard to get there to stop them. So yeah, this guy should be covering over here, controlling all this space, probably or potentially even discouraging a player from trying to break free, because they know there's someone who can come and blitz them and get 2 dice on them, especially if they've got the ball. That's a good way they can be giving it up. So yeah, moving this guy in from he should be over here, just owning this whole corner of the pitch, ready to strike at anyone who gets through. But I didn't do that. So try and push this guy out of the way before standing this guy up, because I know this guy can come and blitz the ball carrier and get 2 dice. I was grateful the sidestep went there and not like here or something, because that would have blocked that off. But it was only a pushback. Followed up, surround the ball carrier on 2 sides. And I'm still at this point looking at just stop them moving, just surround them, don't let them get anywhere. But I should have this corner with the pitch locked down, because that's where the touchdown comes. They do make a hole here, they do get through. And I make it hard for them to get the play in that last turn. It's either turn 7 or turn 8 they're scoring. I don't remember. I don't remember if they... I think it's next turn they break out, following turn they score. Because I was really surprised to see the thrower then come and do this. And I was crying out for the thrower to be standing there, because I wanted to blitz him with this guy. And then he moved back, and I was like, yes, because I knew I could take this assist out. I could free this beastman up. He's got wrestle, come and blitz the guy with the ball. It was exactly what I wanted to do next turn. He dodged away, so I didn't even have to free him up, and then stood where I wasn't really bothered about him standing. But that's another successful dodge away from diving tackle as well. I think every dodge away from my diving tackle was successful in this game. So just moving in, more compression, and if at this point I'd realised that I needed to be covering this pitch, I could have had my diving tackle player over here, being the sweeper that he's supposed to be. Or this guy would block either of these. But I was most interested in getting the diving tackler to mark this catcher, who's the biggest scoring threat. Just squeezed him again. I've got 2 Chaos Warriors free over here. This one with block could have come over here. Could be down here free to tag anyone who comes through. But yeah, so this is the turn of the breakout. Left this gap here. This one's down. Dealing with one of these beastmen gives them a route through with simple, single 2-up dodges. And as soon as this thrower's free, I think that's what we see. See the thrower get through, and another player or 2 over into this area that I should have had covered. Yeah, and just 2+ dodges in there and out of there again. There we go. Chucked it to the blitzer. 1 more player through to try and cover, because I've got players here who can do stuff about it. So a couple of go for it rolls, I think. 2 go for it rolls makes it harder for me to get around. So I can get a blitz on the ball carrier. Still 2 other scoring threats that I have to deal with as well, because they're going to pick the ball up easily if it's dropped. If we stop it there, I'm not going to get rid of the name. Okay, I'm on to my turn. So a block or wrestle beastman over here would have meant easy blitz on the ball carrier to come take him down. I've got other players free who could come and mark up these 2 to try and make sure they're not scoring in their last turn. But as it is, I've got one of the players over here. He can reach, and I think he takes down the catcher, but I just don't have enough other players to easily come and deal with these other scoring threats. I think actually the thrower might be too far, so 2, 4, 6. So the thrower can score with 2 go for it's. If necessary, this blitzer is the main threat other than the catcher here. And yeah, I haven't left myself enough movement available to come and deal with both of them. And we'll be looking at prioritising that blitzer. Another knockout. The Elves do really well to score with, what is it, 6, 7 players left on the pitch. So that's the blitz coming in, took out his assist, so come in there, get him down. And then ball drops into a tackle zone there. I've got a tackle zone on it. I'll see if I can get more on it. I think I do. I think I'll get another tackle zone in there. It's already a 2+ dodge. Got my diving tackler on here, so he's perfectly positioned to get Chaos Warrior here. Goes for it, yeah, it goes for it to put another tackle zone down. So what I've left in is a 4+ dodge into there. In fact, it's more than that because of diving tackle. Hang on. So he needs a 6 to dodge there safely. Or a 5 to dodge there safely with diving tackle. But if he gets a 6 dodge into there, diving tackle is no effect. Anything lower, I can use diving tackle, bring him down, end the turn, and then he needs a reroll needing a 6. So it's a pretty safe setup I've got. Like he needs a 6 there, and then he needs a 4 to pick it up. And he needs to dodge there on a 3, there on a 2, and then he can run in and score. That's the only play the Elves have got. It's pretty good defensive play to leave him only that, and I was pleased with what I'd managed to achieve that turn. Having someone down here already to blitz this catcher, and if I got stun or better, great. I'm free to then move anywhere else, make it even harder to get the ball. But as it is, the Elves do manage to pull it off what they need. So some good dodges there to take down the diving tackler. So made a couple of tough dodges. Let's look at the thing. So yeah, need a 3 and a 2 on those dodges to get through a tackle zone. That's a straight 4 catcher. So you've got 2 dice, diving tacklers down. That makes it now a 4+ dodge rather than a 6. Makes that dodges right through and all the way into score. So in the end, it's just a good play from the Elves. They got the dice they needed when they needed it, and it worked out fine. So I'm 1-0 down at half time. Receiving the ball, but the likely best I can hope for at this point is 1-1 and take it to overtime. Because I'm not quick enough to turn the ball over and score in one drive, really, or it's much harder to, especially with a team that's outpacing and out agilitying you. So yeah, that's the situation we were in. So I had one turn here. I think I did my usual. Who have I got on 5-star player points? It's one of my Chaos Warriors, I think. I tried to pass the ball with, and I think he didn't make it anyway. Yes, that's what this Chaos Warrior is doing back here, trying to make a pass to level up. I'm doing well for players on the pitch. Yeah, I had a bit of an. I'll talk about it later. But I had a bit of an external pressure in the second half, which made me play more aggressively. Right, let's pull down there in reach of my Chaos Warrior, so I want to lose someone to receive the catch. Nice easy one. And make some blocks. Still have 2 rerolls here, so I should have probably have used one earlier on. And then yeah, going for the throw, and it doesn't come off in some way. Yeah, fluff the catch. There we go. So. Still no level for that. That's where and we're at half time. So the two errors. One is only with hindsight the choice to go for a 1-0 win rather than a 2-1 win by using the wizard where I did. And maybe using it in when I wasn't in a position to have a much better chance of recovering the ball than the elves did. It's probably another thing to factor into that decision. And the second one, not covering well enough down here to be able to get more tackle zones on the ball and make it harder for them to come up with a big play when they did. And even showing that space to them in the first place. So having someone down here when everyone was bunched up here would have made that more dangerous, and maybe would have even discouraged it. Unfortunate with a throw a rock. So lineman stunned. Right, so now I'm on things like so the external pressure I was talking about was we were probably due to be finishing this about 11 p.m. On like a work night, and I was like, I don't need overtime. I've got to score 2 touchdowns here to finish the game. So yeah, I played probably more aggressively here than I should. Going for 1-1 and an overtime win may have been more strategically sound. So making that ball very safe there. I've identified this beastman as the one I want to come and score. But if he messes up the pickup roll, I've got 2 players standing on either side of it. A third one shielding it, and this is where I want to put the ball carrier. This sort of area here. If I pick it up, or just leave them in there. But this is where I'm starting to form my screen. So the elf player can see I'm coming down his left, my right. That's my point of attack. So that beastman was left marked by a sidestep there. Blitzer took him down with an assist. Blitzer pushing back. Coming there would have pinned this beastman right in. Follow up, but he's screening with his blitzer instead. So the other coach here either wants me to be scoring quickly or not at all. Same as me in the first half, really. If I score quickly, it's probably going to be a 2-1 elf win. It's a different situation I'm in, but what I was going for was scoring quickly and then just playing really aggressively on defence to make sure I can just smash my way to the ball and then score again. That was my aim. I think that was probably from a standpoint of trying to make sure I win the game. I don't think it was really the best way forward. So using horns there to get blitz, to get this guy away from the touchline, and pile pressure on down here. So I'll go for a quick touchdown. I just want to get the ball out of the pitch, I want to get it up there. Using the touchline to shield me, which is something I don't do often. I think against a sort of more blocking focused team I probably wouldn't have done it. But I know this Elven Union team are going to be trying to avoid getting stuck into this sort of blocking game against me. With this guy last, because I knew I'd have to go for it, and even if he fell over, he'd be blocking the square I wanted to block. So it's a straightforward capture, in for the blitz, pushing this guy back. Starting to shut me down for space here. And means this guy is the one I need to move when I'm taking my next turn. Okay, there's 2 players here now. Trying to sort of shut me down a bit. most of the others are a bit tied up over here. So at this point I'm still feeling pretty good about scoring quickly, probably 2 more turns. Be looking at. So mark this guy up with someone who matches him for strength, and then blitz on this one. Try and do it from there so I can push to there if I need to. It is just a push, so that keeps him a bit more tied up. I've got these 2 players who can move down here, protecting the ball. So use that one to screen, the ball carrier a bit further down. 2 more players who can come and mark up as well. Try to stop this guard lineman being involved in a blitz on the ball carrier, but then failed at dodge late on, and that was my beast man with dodge as well. So I was leaving it late because it was risky, but I'd fancy my chances of making that dodge and putting him over here as someone else that has to be dealt with. As a death, that's my my diving tackle wrestle beast man, but the apothecary saved him, put him on the bench. I think that was my first removal, I'd suffered of the game. Right, so that beast man down leaves a gap here, where the ball carrier can be blitzed. So that was an assist coming in, and the blitz from that way. There we go, no block on him. He's down. So I've got a tackle zone on the ball still. If someone comes in, snaps the ball up on a 3, dodges away, makes a good pass. Whole attack falls apart just like that. Players over here have not acted yet, and I've got no one back here who can deal with it. It's not, maybe just a bit aggressive, trying to get the quick touchdown there, left me a bit spread out. Meant it was easier to come and get the ball than I'd planned for. All I can really do here is just start running players back to put pressure on. But at this point the game's lost basically. So I'm trying to free up this beast man, but I don't think he can reach. So 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, you can do it with 2 go for it's. And does do it. So last bit of desperation there. Just try and sort the touchdown. But I know the touchdown's coming because I remember it. Yeah, just catches the bouncing ball, and he's going to have an easy 2+ dodge to score next turn. Just trying to make that harder. So, okay, so we're looking at 3+ dodge, 2+ dodge instead. Has the dodge skill, I've got no tackle around him. So really should still be scoring this turn. Could always just blitz out as well, which is what he does. It was unfortunate to get the both down there, so he couldn't follow up, but does it with a couple of go for it's anyway. That's the second one. I think the same blitzer. I think it's the same blitzer that scored both. Maybe check at the end. So now I'm left with just trying to grab a touchdown for honour or consolation. I don't think there's any scoring to, unless I can score quickly, roll a blitz, or get a riot to give us an extra turn, things like that. I'm sort of looking at, picking up helpful kickoff results at this point, which is not a good position to be playing the game from. But yeah, I'll be looking at a similar point of attack for this one. I think it just works out. I score in this drive. I think we can probably start skipping through a bit, because I think basically everything we wanted to see from this game has happened by this point. Pick the ball up successfully, get it down the right. It starts looking pretty similar to the to earlier in this half. Protected it well against the touchline. And I think the Elven player has the luxury of having a 2 touchdown lead at this point, doesn't really need to worry about me scoring. Just wants to protect their players, make sure they're fit for the final. And yeah, that was the touchdown running in. Took me until turn 16 to get it. So that's more or less the game. We can skip through at this point. Yeah, so the summary things were, yes, I could blame the dice if I really wanted to, but that's not going to help you improve as a player, and it's not going to. It means you're not going to enjoy the game. They're the sort of key things to take away, I think, in terms of how you're playing Blood Bowl, if it is a philosophy. But in terms of coaching, just a couple of things I could have thought about. Do I want to make them score, then score back, make it 1 or half time, go for the 2-1 win? That's a safer way of playing than the kind of try and just completely shut down the attack in the way that I tried to, because then if it doesn't work, you get stuck in a position where you're fighting from behind as a slower moving, more blocking focused team, trying to get back into the game. So that, and not defending all of the pitch against a quicker moving and more agile team, were the key sort of coaching takeaways for me. Those 2 things, the same 2 things I saw at the beginning. I don't think I did a lot else wrong. I was forcing the Owls to make sort of high percentage plays to score touchdowns, and they did it. It worked for them in that game. And just things like looking at the dice, you say, yeah, came out below it, but adjusting those 2 things could have meant this sort of spread of dice rolls may not have had any effect anyway. That's just the beauty of this game. So I'm going to come back and look at the other semi-final later this week sometime. I'm still getting some time in the mornings before I start work, so I should be able to do that. That's the Lizard Men against Vampire semi-final. The winners of which will play this Elf team. We'll probably look at that final as well. I'm playing with my human team tonight. It is against the Chaos Dwarf team that I identified as my likely opponents. So it's not tonight, that's in a couple of days' time. I might like to come back and look at that game as well. That should be good. So some more coming up if you're enjoying this series. If you're not, don't worry, it's not really for you. I'm doing this for myself and the group of friends that I'm playing with. See if it can be helpful. But thanks for watching anyway, whether you're enjoying it or not.